This is so cool, this recipe. Go to the farmer's market and get heirloom tomatoes. This case, tomato season is almost over, and I'm just utilizing everything from my garden. I got cherry tomatoes, bell tomatoes, Roma tomatoes, small tomatoes, funny beefsteak tomatoes. It's awesome. So I'm just cutting the bell tomatoes in half, throwing in the cherry ones. They're explosive. Everything is washed, of course. The reason why this recipe is different is we're going to do something different with the dressing. It's something that's very Canadian. I know that my fellow Americans, they're watching this. You think it's also British with fish and chips. We're going to use malted vinegar, and malted vinegar is totally different than what you're used to. It's not balsamic, which I love. It's not red wine vinegar. It is made out of barley, good old barley. It's fermented. It has a sweet and tart taste, and it's a lot of people utilize it for fish and chips. Look at those tomatoes. Look at them. They're so beautiful. I'm also liking to change it up a little bit, different colors. Some are a little bit orangey. Some, like this, is really red. As you can see, this one needs to be cut around. So I don't mind doing that. Everything that I don't eat will go back in the garden for compost. And this is more of a heirloom beefsteak that I'm going to put in there. It's a little bit more juicy. That's where we might get some liquid, hence why I'm using a strainer while I'm doing this. Yeah, these need to be eaten. Last of the season. Thank God for a good Damascus steel knife. Any knife would work that is sharp. Just be careful with your fingers. And again, malted vinegar can be any color. Oh, I just don't like how that looks. So I'll take off the skin. And then, oh, it's getting big already. I might not need all these tomatoes. So I'm going to make this is something that you can do when guests come over. Make it super fresh. You can just have these ready to go, and then don't put the dressing on until your guests arrive. Again, having tomatoes from your own garden is cool, but if you don't have that opportunity, go to the farmer's market, pick up, usually go at the end of the day. End of the day, they're just trying to get rid of whatever they have, and they know that if they wait when the farmer's market open again, that most likely the tomatoes will be too ripe to serve. So if they're too ripe to serve, then they're not good. Oh, red wine. Always have red wine when making this salad. It just makes it a lot more enjoyable. My homemade wine, right now my house smells like wine because, and these ones, see, these ones are a little bit too seedy, so I use my thumb and take out the seeds prior for even going in the strainer, and that stops the water. I think we're almost, wow. We'll keep this big bad boy for another time. But again, and nothing beats having tomatoes from your local area. If you're friends with the farmer, make deals with them. A lot of great restaurants do that. So I'll move all the water and liquid over. This right here, if there's liquid, this is optional. Let's throw that in right now. Haha. I'm only going to use a half. It's a little chili from my garden that packs a heat. I like spice, but if you're not a spicy kind of person, and also just got some quick chives. If you don't have chives, any kind of green yellow onion at a grocery store will work. And while that's being chopped up, the smell of the chives is, of course, smells like green onions. So chives come back every year if you can find a spot. If you have some property to grow a little patch, it comes back every year. So let's clean this up a little bit. Let's move these back in the basket. I'm not going to use these. This is like the coolest basket while picking from the garden. I have some green tomatoes there because it was calling for frost, so I picked up the big ones. They'll churn. Like this was a green tomato. It will still taste delicious when it ripes. Let's move this out of the way. Move this over. And if we need to, we can always go back if we need to cut more tomatoes. So, let's add this right now. Look how beautiful that is. That's beautiful. It's so delicious. So I'm going to throw in the chives. Again, that's awesome. Now I have it all over my hand. Quick rinse will help out. Now, I have to admit, if you can find this, Mina extra virgin olive oil, it's one of the best olive oils I ever had. It's single origin. It's right from one farm. This is any kind of malted vinegar you could find. Very, very Canadian. I'm going to throw in some sea salt, just a pinch. And then, this is the fun part. Oregano. Oregano. Everyone has dry oregano. Oregano rocks. I just dried some from the garden, but you don't have to do that. Just buy dry oregano. Dry oregano is, I think, and I'm just brushing the leaves or the seed pods in this. Good news. Good news. Dry oregano is very abundant. You can buy it at any store. It's better with tomatoes when it's dry than the fresh. One of the few herbs that are like that. So always do 3-to-1. So I can eye it right now. So that's 3 parts olive oil. If you want to do it, you could do 3 tablespoons of olive oil to 1 malted vinegar. And if you really like the taste of the sweetness of malted vinegar, you can add a little bit more. And with this olive oil, it's to die for. Longevity at its finest. So the salad's done. So just have the tomatoes prepped. People have good Italian bread because they're going to dip it in the malted vinegar mixture if you give them the opportunity to. You can throw in red pepper. You can do whatever you want that makes it looks delicious. I'm just putting in a nice bowl right now for you to see. And I want a cherry tomato, which is like bombastic. Oh my gosh. It's so good. That malted vinegar really gives that taste that you can add. Oh, I got a little chili. So right now, me signing out. Once again, Beyond cool. Something so easy but delicious, which people will ask you, what's different with your salad dressing? Hit that subscribe button. Peace out. And of course, leave comments. Beyond Cool signing out.